Thank you. Imagine this. You work at a refugee center, and every day people come through your door. Families that have lost everything. Mothers that have nothing but hope for the future of their children. Young people that have fled war zones. Now imagine you're at the door and you realize that you are going to have to let some of them down. You're going to have to say, I can't help you. This was me in 2022. When the war in Ukraine started, our funding pivoted almost overnight. It was amazing because the need was great. What happened is that suddenly, overnight, all our funding was tied to Ukrainian refugees. But at the same time, we had Afghan, Congolese, Syrian people coming to our doors. And the problem is that we couldn't use that funding. We had lots of money, but it was tight. We had to say, not you, to people. That experience is not unique. It happens every day, across Ireland, across Europe, across the world. NGOs are facing completely impossible choices. Sorry. Now, according to the Global NGO Technology Report, 80% of NGO leaders say that they worry constantly about survival funding. They, excuse me. One of the leaders, one leader I talked to recently said, I lie awake at night and suffer thinking about how I'm going to pay staff that are doing life-changing work. Another one said, we are so busy applying for grants that we have no time to think how we are going to work not to need those grants. We're in a cycle, in a vicious cycle. Sorry. Social change takes time. Transforming lives, healing communities is not something we can do overnight. However, funding lasts normally 12 months. We get grants and we have funding for 12 months. 12 months to tackle homelessness, 12 months to end gender-based violence, 12 months to rebuild lives shattered by trauma. If you browse NGO jobs right now on platforms like Active Link, which is the star platform for this type of job, you will see it everywhere. Contracts for 12 months, projects that last 18 months, or permanent jobs that are subject to funding. This instability is not accidental. This instability is rooted on the fact that the system was never meant for long-time change, for social change. It was an aid. That's the system we are working with right now. You probably have heard that last year, in the beginning of this year, took place. USA cuts millions and millions of dollars and euros were cut, and projects were stopped. In Africa especially, mother and babies and newborns clinics were closed. HIV patients stopped receiving treatment. Healthcare, education, and gender equality projects were completely stopped altogether. And that is one part of it. Another part is that thousands of jobs in the NGO sector were finished, were ended. Now, when funding is short-term, the impact isn't just on the projects, it's on people. The NGOs, when they don't have enough funding, they stretch their thin teams even thinner. They ask for leaders to work on strategy and to also take care of all the emergencies. They request more and more of the personnel that are taking care of their clients. Now, this, I call it the scarcity spiral. It starts with scarcity. Scarcity leads to understaffing. Understaffing leads to burnout. Burnout leads to turnover. We lose people. Turnover leads to weak delivery. Obviously, we don't have the resources to work as much as we would like. And weak delivery leads to loss of trust from funders. And obviously, loss of trust leads to less funding. And that leads to more scarcity. It's a horrible cycle that people that have ever worked in this sector or have been in touch with this sector, this is the reality every day in any NGO. The problem is that during this cycle, we lose people. We lose brilliant people. We lose soul. We lose momentum. We lose the capacity to think that tomorrow could be better. And we lose something that I think is the worst of all, and is creativity. We cannot think, we're in survival mode, and we cannot think how to improve, how we can work better, what can we do, what can we change to improve the system. Now, it's easy to think that this is how it works, this is how the cookie crumbles, and that's the problem of the system, and that's the reality when we choose to do this work. We have to accept scarcity. However, I believe this is a lie. This is not something we should accept. This is not something we cannot change. Because social change cannot be built on depletion, cannot be built on scarcity. We're not helpless, we're not working, we're not broken. Now, let's imagine that there is a way to change this, and we can create a sustainability cycle. Let's say we have impact, we get impactful ethic revenue. We can invest in more staff. More staff will lead to strategic partners, and the strategic partners will lead to more trust. And so we suddenly are not spinning any longer, and we are racing. Now, sorry, I have to go a little faster. Now, this is possible, and this exists. It's not just my dream. It is my dream, absolutely, but it exists. So there are companies, like, for example, and they're here in Dublin. We have Speedback Group. This company is a charity. It's also a social enterprise. They can, they are able to work with e-commerce. They train people that have been long-term unemployed, and they actually generate 50% of their income. They have started to reduce their needs for grants. Now we have Who Gives a Crap. That's the name. That's a big company in Australia, and they produce toilet paper with recycled material and bamboo, and they donate 50% of their profits to projects to improve sanitation and water. They have donated 18 million since 2011. We also have Bellu Water, that is in the UK. Bellu Water, 100% of their profits are reinvested in projects in water for areas where they don't have. So far, they have donated £6.1 million. So there is, imagine now that we have the possibility of this refugee center that I was talking about. What if they invest in a catering company, for example? What if refugees there can work in a catering company and provide and be promote their development as professionals? What if the LGBTQ association, for example, ran a graphic design studio? There are examples, there are opportunities to create social enterprise and to turn this reality around, to improve the sector, to improve how the sector is funded. Resilient, courageous, built to last. That's my last message for you. I had so many more things to say, but no time. Thank you.